Welcome to training video number 5. We're almost there. Woo! Yay! Alright. I'm on page 25 that says staff character. Staff character. The first one is the 2 adult rule. One of the most important parts of camp as far as liability are concerned is the 2 adult rule. You need to make sure you are with campers in a place where another adult can always see you. It's important for you not to spend time one-on-one with campers in a place where no one else can see you, like behind the cabin or in an enclosed space. At all times, there should always be 2 adults with you. One adult, 2 at all times, within visibility with each other. So for example, when you're doing the one-on-ones with campers, you can go in the middle of the field, you can go in the front of the cabin, you can go someplace and hang out, but out in the wide open, but where no one can hear you, but that people can see you. So you need to make sure wherever you're walking, whatever you're doing, that you try always to have 2 adults at all times. That's protection for the campers, but it's also protection for you. Because if you become falsely accused of something, but there's another adult nearby, then it's easy to deal with the situation. If you're the only adult and there were only kids, it can get really tricky. Remember the 2 adult rule at all times. That includes being in the cabin. You don't want to be the only adult in the cabin with the campers. You want to make sure there's 2 adults in the cabin with the campers. Try to keep that in mind. Campers should never be punished in a physical way. They can't be spanked. You can't hit them. You can't make them hug trees. You can't make them do push-ups. We cannot give any physical punishment like that. The types of punishment that we can give would be, you can't go to free time, you have to clean up, you have to help in the kitchen, you have to work with the division leader, you have to sit on a bench, whatever it might be. You have to figure out another type of drastic punishment for the campers who are really out of control. So, it just cannot be physical. Campers should never be touched in a physically sexual way. No staff person should ever mention anything sexual to any of the campers at camp. Now that we've got high school campers, we have to be more careful about the things we say, the way we look at things, how we do things. We have to be more careful. So be careful how you do these things. Now on the other side, if you're counseling campers and a camper tells you that they're being sexually abused or they're being physically abused or verbally abused or emotionally abused at home, you want to take that seriously. You want to listen to that story. You want to get information about that story. And then you want to share it with your division leader. Don't ever let a camper say, don't tell anybody, but as a counselor, you can never say, okay, I promise not to tell anyone. All you can say is, okay, I won't tell anyone unless you are in danger. If you're in danger, then I will be telling someone. So just know that before you tell me anything. So please take this seriously. If you feel that it's something that's going on, that's true, that's a situation for that camper, talk to the division leader, and then the division leader would talk to the camper. If the division leader feels like this is really a situation that needs to be reported, they'll come to me, I'll talk to the camper, and I'll probably talk to the pastor, I'll probably talk through the situation and try to figure out what's going on. Now, in all my years of camp, 27 years, most of the time when we hear about child abuse or sexual abuse from campers, it's already been reported. They're just sharing with you. I can't even so far think of one instance that We were the first ones a kid ever told, but it might happen. So be prepared for that. Sexual harassment. We want to make sure you at camp feel that you are safe and you're in a comfortable place and that you are not being harassed sexually. If you feel that someone is being sexually inappropriate to you and another adult, if you feel like there's some sexual harassment going on, the first person to talk to would be your division leader. You want to talk to your division leader about that. And if it's a big issue, they'll talk to me about that. Okay? We'd like to take care of that situation for you. We cannot have sexual harassment at camp. If any of you feel like I am sexually harassing you, then you want to talk to your division leader about that. And then the leaders at camp can talk to me about the situation, can talk to the camp board if people feel like I am being inappropriate. So let's not have any sexual harassment at our camp. Punctuality is big for me. I wear a watch. I'm always trying to be totally on time. Camp only runs well if it runs on time. That's my personal opinion. Meals have got to be on time. Events have got to be on time. Chapels have got to be on time. Activities got to be on time. We've got to have everything on time. If you are not used to wearing a watch, which very few people are these days, you might want to invest in a watch for camp. You're not going to want to walk around carrying your phone at camp and let it get trampled on by horses and fall in the lake. If you want to get a waterproof watch, that'd be the smart way to go. Make sure you have an alarm in your cabin, because we've had camp counselors who are like, I didn't wake up, I don't have an alarm. It's your responsibility. You're the adult. You need to know what time it is, and you need to wake up on time. So you need to show up on time. And really, don't just show up on time, show up early. If you're running an activity, you should be early. You should be all set up, and as soon as the campers get there, you're ready to go. Be on time, be early, and always be involved. We sometimes have counselors who sit back and let everyone else play and run around. Everyone has to be involved. Everyone, including the campers, everyone has to be involved. Camp is not a place for you to sit back and watch everyone else. You need to be involved at all times. Participate in everything. Now, you will have time off every day. It will be about 2.5 hours. And so you will enjoy your time, I hope. Remember, if you go to Crockett or off campus, you have to be at least 18 years old or older to leave the camp. If you are 17 and under, you have to stay on the camp. We have a lot of counselors this year that are 17 and under. Those counselors need to stay on camp property the entire time. All right. If you are having a problem with, say, your co-counselor or another staff member that's not sexual harassment, but it's just you're having a lot of issues with them, go to your division leader and talk it through with them so the situation can be worked out. No water fights are allowed at camp except for when we design them, and it's part of the program. No cross-dressing at camp. We don't want guys dressing like girls, and we don't want girls dressing like guys, even if it's to be funny or for skits. So we don't allow any cross-dressing. Physical affection. Campers are allowed to hold hands at camp, and they're allowed to give 5-second hugs. But that's the limit of sexual activity for campers. So, hand holding, and a hug, and you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's as long as they get. That's it. We have to try our best to keep down the physical activity between genders at camp as much as possible. Now, there is a dress code. We've got 7th through 12th graders coming to camp now. Oh, no. I mean, silts have been hard enough, but now we've got campers coming that age group. Guys have to wear shirts except for at the lake. So let's not have guys walking around all without shirts on, walking around Fossil Creek. Not appropriate. No sagging, and no wife beaters, those white tank tops are allowed at camp. Females, no low-cut shirts, no spaghetti straps, no bun hugger shorts. You have to wear a one-piece swimsuit. That's a Frontier Camp rule. One-piece swimsuit. If you have a two-piece, you have to wear a t-shirt over the top. And so let's try to help the girls in our cabins to be appropriate in the clothing that they have at camp. I know that's a struggle sometimes. Let's try our best. Don't forget, jeans and closed-toed shoes are required for horseback riding and for all rope activities. No campers are to have any electronics at all. No phones, no electronics, no campers and no silts. No campers and no silts can have phones or any electronics at camp. If you find them, we confiscate them. Usually people give them to me and I hold on to them till the end of camp. Their parents are told before camp that they're not allowed to bring electronics. So, just to let you know. Now, you as counselors, you can bring your phones and you can bring electronics. So, you can do it. You can bring it. We're going to assume you're not going to be all day. You're going to be using them to enhance Bible studies, devotions, etc. That's what we're hoping that you'll be using those for. Campers can bring toys to camp. There's no rules against toys at all. We're going to have individual devotional times and cabin times for campers. That's going to take place when 2nd through 6th grade is doing their cabin activities. Then 7th through 12th graders are going to be having individual devotions, and we want them to have their own devotion time. And when the 7th through 12th graders are having their cabin activities, 2nd through 6th graders are going to have cabin time. So just keep that in mind. There is free time, and here's something new that we're going to do during free time for protection of all campers. We're not allowing campers to be in their cabins between 3:30 p.m. and 5:15 p.m. So campers will not be allowed to be in their cabins between 3:30 and 5:15. We're bringing in security guards. They're called prayer walkers. They're prayer walkers. They will be praying, but they're also security guards. And they will not allow campers to go into the cabins between that period of time, except if a camper needs to go in and change, or they need something that they forgot. What the security person will do is stand outside of the cabin. The campers can go in the cabin and do what they need to do. The security person will stand at the doorway, and then the campers will quickly leave the cabin after doing what they need to do, and then the door will be closed again. So that's our plan for security during free time. As far as the camp kitchen is concerned, you're not allowed to go in any camp kitchen and take food. No, you can't do it. No gum, no gum, no gum, no gum at Frontier, okay? Homesickness is usually most with 5th and 6th grade kids, but it can happen with any age group. So make sure the campers know they're not allowed to call home. A lot of times they feel homesick, hoping that if they're homesick enough, they can call their parents, but we don't allow them to call their parents. Make sure they're involved. Try to get someone from the cabin to be their pal, someone to be with them and care for them. Pray for them. Just help them through any way you can. And homesickness is a communicable disease. It spreads throughout your cabin, so you want to nip that in the bud as soon as possible and help your campers through it. We're not allowing any of you to have any friends come to camp after 5 p.m. on Sunday. Your friends are all allowed to come during the closing parent celebration on Saturday, but otherwise we don't really allow visitors at our camp during the week. Pillow fights you can have in your cabin, but not outside. We've had outside pillow fights. There's been a lot of death and destruction, so no pillow fights outside of your cabin. Okay? I already mentioned the prayer walkers, the additional security. So in the morning during our staff meeting from 7:30 to 8:30, these prayer walkers, security people, will be walking around all the cabins making sure everyone is okay. And they will also be walking during free time and making sure everyone is okay around the cabins, because there won't be counselors around helping with the campers during that time. As far as swimming, the great news is if you are a camper that is 13 years old or older, you do not have to take a swim test at camp. Yeah! All we need is information from your parents that, yes, this camper can swim. Yes! So only campers 12 and under have to take a swim test. So just know the new rule on that. And if you do any paddle boating, kayaking, any boating at all, you need to wear a life jacket at all times. All right. So video number 5 is done.